Hello there, and welcome to another episode in my Star Wars world. And you may notice if you've seen any other episodes, my skin is different today. That is because I found something quite interesting that I can do. So, if I go and grab a bow and some arrows, and I just shoot up in the air, and hopefully I just hit the tree. That's brilliant. I just hit the tree and it's got stuck. So I'm going to try and kill myself here. And I just realised I don't know if my spawn is here or not, so I'm just going to quickly set that. And one more. There we go. So when I kill myself, where is it? I'm blind. Ah, I see it. Yes. So let me grab my items again quickly. When I kill myself, it drops the player head. However, it seems to save the data, which means I can have multiple heads. So now we've got this Kenobi head, and you should see I also have my original head. Unfortunately, before changing this, I didn't realize that my skin was not saved on my Minecraft. So I don't know if I can find the same skin again, but yes, I can get multiple different heads, which means we can actually put characters around this area and any future areas we do. And being Star Wars, there are a lot of options out there for skins for Minecraft. So that's going to be a lot of fun to play with. Just thought I'd start off with that. And now I'm probably just going to sit here for the next few hours, switching between skins, collecting a bunch of heads, and getting those ready, really. Well, I couldn't find the skin that I was using before, so I've just settled on this one for the time being. Maybe I'll have another look, see if I can find it, but I think it's been updated, so it's not quite the same. But I did do what I said I was going to do, which was spend a long time gathering up all of these player heads. And I created a little base inside of here for it. Ignore the double doors, that was just my attempts to hold my items inside, and I kept making this area smaller. So I found that TNT was the quickest method, so you just put one here, light it with a flint and steel. The button doesn't work because it doesn't count as the player kill. And then all my items just drop behind here, and I respawn next to it, pick them up again, put the TNT down. Because of that, I actually have quite a few stacks of the player heads now. Lots of stormtroopers, I've got the Ewoks, and other characters that I will need for this area. So I also gathered up a bunch of armor stands, and I've been basically procrastinating because after building the trees, I just didn't want to get to building the platforms. It's a little bit annoying working up at this height rather than having something good to stand on, but now it is time for me to begin building up this base. We now have our first hut. So the next thing to do is show you inside. This one's actually collected a little trophy. He killed a stormtrooper and took his helmet. I've got some chests here. This will be for the main blocks, and then I will have shulker boxes in here with blocks, and then this is just going to be for slabs and other items that are related to the block. This actually here goes down to the villagers, so I can put bread in there, and I haven't tested that out yet, but hopefully it's not going to fling the bread too far everywhere. But what I actually want to do now, I smelted up some of the rotten flesh, so I now have some leather, and I think I put this like this, and this, and this. Now, if I get the book, let's see, we want stand visible, no. We want gravity, no. We want to move this down, so that will be the, what, Y? I never remember. Yep. And I'll just put it down a little bit more. And a little bit more. Actually, that looks good. Now I'm just going to adjust the position. Yeah, that looks good. We got my first Ewok. Let's see what other ones we got here. That one's quite good. I don't like how it's hollow inside, but I'm sure we can find one for that. No. Oh, actually, yeah, he's like looking down. Yeah, I like that one. I like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to push him back a little bit. Which direction is that? That'll be the X direction. So if I want to know the direction, all I'm doing is I'm looking at my coordinates down here, and I just move about, which is why I like to have them on the screen, because I often use the coordinates and it's easier than pressing F3. So I don't know which direction it is, wrong direction. I'll maybe bring that forwards a little bit more. I think that will do. Yeah, he's like curious when you're down here. What are you doing down in my storage? And I can still reach the chest. Yeah, I like that one. I'm going to lock that in just so I can't break it. And I have another one here. So where do I want to put this? I actually wanted to try and put it in the bed. So let's see how that goes. Can I even rotate it? I must be able to. Okay, so if we, once again, gravity, no. Stand visible, no. Rotate, 45 degrees. I don't know how this one works. I've never used this before, so okay, that's that rotation. Is there a laying down one? Lazing? No, these are all going to be standing up. Ah, that's going to be disappointing. Oh, have I broken that now? Yeah, tell you what, let's go a different route. Let's make that invisible. And then we will move this down. We're just going to put the head in the bed for now. Right, and then if I get another armor stand, which I don't have on me right now, should have brought more of these. Can I face the body at the head? Oh, I can. There we go. Okay, now I've done it. Stand visible. No. And if I move this across, this might just work out. And then we go in this direction. We need to go down a little bit more. Not too much. Maybe two will do. Ah, well, it is sticking through the bottom. I'm not sure if it was a good idea to put them So close together. Okay, that one's locked. Now can I get this? So now I shouldn't be able to affect any of those. And that's it. We got a couple of Ewoks hidden away in this first room. They got their trophy here. We've got the storage. And I'm very happy with that. And now I need to finish off the rest. And just like that, we now have all of the platforms in. I did, in fact, leave a couple of the trees, and I've gone out the wrong side. So a couple at the front don't have any platforms at the moment. Now I was thinking that this would be better because it kind of encloses the village area rather than just being on the edge. It makes it feel a bit more enclosed. On the back it's okay because the trees are lower. So if you're kind of flying in from above, it's still a bit hidden by the leaves. And I think it's nice just to have a couple of normal trees there without anything. The other thing I am considering right now is underneath these. My screen is lagging right now. Underneath these, I think I need to put more pillars because actually looking at the Endor bases, there's a lot more wooden planks holding them up. So I think I'll try that out. Maybe just on one of them, see how it looks. The only concern is the way I had to do it was by putting a trapdoor here, because otherwise this bit doesn't actually connect properly. And if I have to do that all the way around, then I'm going to have to delete these, which would leave more gaps. So I'm not really sure how that's going to look. The only way I'm going to find out is if I actually do it. So let's jump and do that now. Right, I think that is a lot better now. Let's just take a quick fly around. Yeah, so it does look more full underneath. They're not the best pillars, but it gives that impression of having more planks down there. I did consider actually using planks or slabs for it, but they just don't look quite right. They're a bit too thick. And I think this will do for now. So I'm going to add that to all of the remaining ones, which I think there's 4 left to do it on. And then we need to move on to the next steps. So now I have fixed up all of the pillars and my mouse is disconnected. There we go. So it looks a lot more supported. Some of them look a bit messy, but I'm actually okay with that because realistically it's a bunch of bears in trees. So they're not exactly the most professional in the world. So that will do for now. And I think the next thing I actually need to work on, because although I have an elytra and rockets right now, sometimes you die, sometimes you don't have access to the top of your base. So I need ways to get up, and I need to connect all of these up with bridges. Once the bridges are done, then we can finish off the rest of these huts, put our storage in, and this base will be ready to use. just like that, we now have all of the huts in, as well as our method of getting around all of this. So you might have seen in the time lapse, I did actually make this part a bit thicker to start with, and it was just too much, to be honest. When I looked, it was blocking everything up, and it didn't look very good. And that's when I realized even on a diagonal, you can actually just have one gap and it's fine. The other thing I did was I decided to do the diagonal bridge first, which was pretty stupid because not only did I have to design it, I had to design it in the most awkward angle. But now I'm quite happy with this, and the next thing I actually need to do is all of the insides. So I'm just going to jump and do those now, and then that will be the base essentially finished, other than the regular details like the small trees and the bushes and things. But we will have our storage done, and then I can move all my items in. Finally, it is done. I have now sorted out all of the storage within the huts, and I'm just going to do a quick run around. As you can see, I have been struggling for stone and cobblestone for everything I've needed. I haven't done a lot of mining of those, but this is basically how I've sorted it out. All the kind of random shapes that I wouldn't ever have too many of any one type. So that's my stone hut, and actually I've just realised I didn't put anything above the huts to indicate. I'm going to come to this one at the end. So down here we have the wood hut. So I have a double chest for each wood, as well as the place for the shulker boxes, and there's one for every type of wood. And the only ones, actually I didn't make this item frame invisible yet, so the only ones I'm missing are the nether woods, and then I'll have room for all of them. And then in here we have just all the random items and the saplings, and this is my box for leaves, as well as roots. If you come around here, you might notice I did add a little ladder up here, and to be honest, it's just easier going up here than flying. So up the top we have this for the brewing, and then I have a box where I can put blaze rods eventually when I get a lot more, and just all the random items that you might need for brewing potions. It's nothing over the top. I didn't really have enough room to do any kind of automatic brewer, and everything in this base is supposed to be basic. So this will just be the initial build. Let's pop over to here. This is probably the most empty one, and it's the most awkward one to reach because this is my main one, and then this one has a platform over there and it has to connect to this one. So it's a bit of a long way around. I also forgot to say, we've got more Ewoks in these, and they're all in different positions. There's nothing down here at the moment. This is just for nether and end chunk that I don't really need. This is the box where I'll put anything good from the nether that I might actually use, like blackstone, magma blocks, soul sand, and keep the shulkers in here as well. If I come over to this one, you'll see again a couple more Ewoks in here. This guy's surprised to see me. I made him jump there. Yeah, we've got the dirt types. I'm not happy about this mud situation. This is not one that I want to keep there, but I'll figure that out eventually. Any mushroom stuff, mycelium or mushroom stems, and then just anything growable or plant-based, food-based, and then any dyes or colours down here. And at the top we have the colorable blocks. So this is just any wool, any glass, any terracotta. I believe that was all of them other than the main one. So let me just pop up here. Had to add a little ladder here because I couldn't quite reach. And there is another ladder here, so I'll go up there in a second. But this is my main room where I have all my stuff. This guy I thought was quite funny. He's falling off, he's kind of hanging on. And then this guy's just watching up the top. And I just had extra chests in here, so I have like all the crafting benches and furnaces and anything like that. Any kind of tool or item I'm going to use, I kept my carrots in here because I'm going to have to make a farm with those. This will just be like decoration stuff, like the music discs and the mini blocks. I've got a redstone box here. This is just all the random items that you get from the mob farm that I made because I didn't really have anywhere to put those. And this will be any kind of ores or like iron and stuff. And the ores are all in this box here. And this bottom row will actually be for shulker boxes. However, it's got a few extra items in it at the moment. So these are ones that I took out of my ender chest because I'm going to use that for a bit of travelling soon. This was just a enchantment area I threw together, all of my tools that I had left over and all of my lapis and stuff down here. And I always break anvils and have to make another one, so why not? I've got my elytras up here. We have another one of the stormtrooper heads here. It's one of the biker type ones. And the last place to show you will be up here, which is the other small platform at the top. And I use both the small platforms for utility, and I didn't really put any Ewoks in there or anything like that. It's just a bunch of furnaces. There is actually 16 furnaces, and then one furnace connected here to a hopper. And I'll just I can put 8 stacks of something in there if I want. Have a chest up here for all the coal. I am using charcoal at the moment because I don't have a wither skeleton farm, and I haven't done a lot of mining. At least all the mining I've done has been very low in the world, so I haven't actually got a lot of coal. So that's a bit of a challenge, but given that I have the timber mod, it's quite easy to get wood, so this is not really a problem to do. So yeah, now I have all my items moved in. My base is nice and cleared up, except from this random bit of wood in the middle for my cocoa beans, because I needed the brown dye for the Ewoks, and I figured I would just chuck that together really quick. And also, while I've been doing all this, the iron farm has still been going. So although there's not too much in it right now, if I actually go back up into my ender chest, if I can get up there, I'm gonna die. Brilliant. So if I go to my ender chest now, I'll show you I'm all stacked out with the shulker boxes, and this is my iron supplies at the moment. I have to be careful where I put this. That's not the right place. If I put it in the wrong place and open it, it will actually push this guy. I already had that problem once. But yes, so I have a lot of iron blocks here and a couple more just lying around in chests and things. So I'm all sorted for that for now. I'm still debating if I should take the iron farm down or not. I think I might just leave it until I make a bigger one. And it's not a big area for me to fill in after it goes. But that leads me to the next part. If you saw the first episode, you may have noticed that I was using Obi-Wan's lightsaber. And shortly after that, I swapped it to Anakin's Padawan lightsaber. But the only way I can really explain that to you is if we look into the security recording.
I must know the truth, Master.
I killed them. I killed them all. They're dead. Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too. They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them!
I can't watch anymore.
Yes, that is right. I did absolutely decimate the shulker numbers in my world because I decided that I needed a whole box, as I mentioned in the first episode. But actually, I went with 2 boxes and an extra stack for me to refill what I'm going to be using here. And we also gathered up a bunch of resources. So I picked up all of these elytra because you never know where I'm going to need to use the wings. I can always change the resource pack to have a different type here, and maybe that's for the Geonosians. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And a bunch of horse armors and saddles. And I focused on a few different types of tools. So Shovels I'll need because I like to have about 9 of them, so whenever I mine sand I don't have to go back and mend them all the time. I picked up a bunch of swords, this one being smite as well, because obviously for farms sometimes smite is better. A bunch of pickaxes. I always end up needing to repair these, so it's always good to have a lot. Bunch of end rods, just while I'm going around the buildings they get in the way. I've got almost 2 stacks of shulker heads, which is quite a lot. And all of these diamonds and gold. I didn't pick up the iron because I have an iron farm, I have plenty. I just don't have a gold farm yet, so I picked up the gold in case I need it. And diamonds, we always grab those. Surprisingly, you don't get a lot of emeralds in the NCs. And I didn't also pick up a lot of armor because I'm not going to need it. I mainly picked up boots so that I can make Frostwalker boots. And what's the other one? It is Soul Speed. Yeah, so I'm now ready. I'm at an end gateway to go back home, and I am well and truly done with the end. I do not want to come back here for a very long time because, quite frankly, I've spent about 10 to 12 hours here, and that's enough for me. Right, I have sorted through all of my inventory now, so my shulker boxes are all sorted out. I have my chests, and I also have one in here, so I always carry around a bunch of shulker boxes in case I need them. All my inventory is basically empty, ready for the next project. However, I did do some quick changes around here, so although this is useful to have this, it still takes a little while, and even though I might not have rockets in my inventory, I may still have elytra durability, so I added a quick little hut at the bottom, just brings you up the top, and then I can just fly down onto any of the platforms. As well as that, I did tidy up my TNT killing area, so this has now got a hut as well, and I just rearranged it. It's not finished yet, and I need to test if I will respawn in the correct place here. We just have our chests all laid out here, and a little chest to put our items in. I don't know about this because there's a chance I'll spawn on the other side of that, and that has happened before, so I'll just have to test that out. The floor could also probably do with replacing just to make it look a bit better. But yeah, so I think that will probably be everything for this episode, because the next project I want to work on is detailing, and it will take time, as well as I might need to get some resources for that. However, while I was doing the base, I did forget to mention I had to make these black banners. And to get them, obviously I needed black dye, and I happened to be around an ocean, so I actually just put F3B on, which I just realised is still on, and went and got squids. And while I was doing that, I decided, well, I saw a trident drowned, and I thought, you know what, I'll just kill it. And it dropped a trident, so I got my first trident. But what is really interesting about that is if I go into the statistics, you should see I've killed 1 drowned in this whole world, and somehow that one gave me the trident. I don't know what kind of luck that is, but I'm very happy about it. Obviously, I'll need another one in order to have both channeling and riptide. I think for now, I don't really need the mob heads, so I might just put riptide on because it does fly quicker than the elytra. But I don't really need it at the moment, so I'm just saving it. And also, you may have noticed in there I got some extra wither skeleton skulls. That's because I now have like 6 boxes of eggs in my original home base. So I am going to go and get wither roses to eventually make a wither skeleton farm. That's because I need coal. I also use that for black dye with a data pack. I don't know if it shows on here. No, I don't think it shows on here. But yeah, so the data pack allows coal to be used for black dye. Another funny thing that happened, you can see it just down over here somewhere. Where did it go? Is it in here? Nope. It was on this platform, so I hope it's still there and hasn't fallen down. I didn't have any fish on me. I can hear it. Where is it? Must be inside. Oh yeah, a cat somehow ended up on top of here, which I thought was quite funny, and it doesn't seem too bothered by me. So that was quite nice just to see a cat up here. But yeah, so that is everything for the episode. Now for the next episode, the plan is to build up all of the bushes, tidy this up a bit. I am still going to leave the iron farm, and it's going to look ugly for quite a while. just because until I build a bigger iron farm, I can't be bothered to move it. But other than that, I will build up the small trees, the bushes all around, maybe some paths, but I don't know. In the forest, it's quite built up around the floor. And I will start on the first empire building here, because now that I'm all moved in, it's all good and well, except when I want to go to the end for my Enderman farm, I have to fly all the way back over to my original base for the Nether portal, which I could just put a Nether portal here, but I do want to make it look nice, and I think the entrance to that small base will be the Nether portal, and it will just bring the island together. And I'm going to do something a little bit special with the next episode as well, provided I have enough time, which will be our first vehicle. So for that, what I plan to do is make kind of a side series, but I'm just going to do like creative mode and designing different vehicles from Star Wars that I can add into this world. I'm just kind of going over the process of how I kind of make things and design them. It will just be short videos, and hopefully that turns out okay. But that's all for today, so I hope you enjoyed, and the base is coming along nicely. I'll see you in the next episode.